Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping into a truly unique and incredibly rewarding role, what we like to call the speechless steward. If you care for exotic animals, well, whether you're a dedicated enthusiast, an avian specialist, or a reptile rehabilitator, you are quite literally on the front lines of nature. These amazing creatures rely on us for absolutely everything. So what we're going to unpack today is the fascinating and honestly often hidden biology of how these animals handle stress. And more importantly, we'll dive into the precise science of how we can help them heal. Let's jump right in. This thought perfectly captures the beautiful but definitely heavy responsibility of caring for exotics. Unlike a dog that's going to whine or a cat that meows when it's feeling under the weather, our exotic companions, those vulnerable birds, resilient turtles, and delicate small mammals, are fundamentally speechless. As an evolutionary survival tactic, they're absolute masters at masking their pain. But in captivity or rehabilitation, that survival tactic means their lives rely entirely on us, on our keen observation and our unwavering care. We literally have to be the ones to spot the trouble, usually way before they show any obvious signs. And that brings us to a massive silent threat. When we talk about exotics, we are talking about physiology that is vastly different from your traditional domestic pets. A sudden shift in their routine, it isn't just a minor annoyance for them. It's a physiological earthquake. Think about it for a second. A bird's heart can beat hundreds of times a minute, and a chameleon changing color might look super cool to us, but biologically, that can actually be a desperate signal of intense stress. When these animals are pushed out of their comfort zones, what goes on beneath those feathers or scales is really alarming. So what does a crisis actually look like? The indicators are highly specific and, honestly, incredibly urgent. We're looking at severe dehydration triggered by heat, or even just the sheer panic of transport stress. Moving a macaw to a new enclosure can literally shock its system. And this shows up fast: poor appetite, sudden weakness, or just a general failure to thrive, especially right after an illness or a vaccination. A seemingly tiny temperature shift can cause their health to rapidly decline, sending their entire biological system into an absolute tailspin. When that tailspin happens, what is literally going on inside their bodies? Scientifically speaking, it's a critical electrolyte imbalance. And I want to be clear, this isn't just basic dehydration. It's a highly dangerous state where the body's essential conductive minerals are completely drained. Without those minerals, the body literally forgets how to tell the muscles to move or the heart to beat. It leads to severe fatigue, totally compromised immunity, and a terrifying loss of muscle function. It's a full-blown physiological crisis, and it demands an immediate, biologically accurate intervention. Think about the stark contrast between these two biological realities. In an imbalanced state, the animal is effectively shutting down. They are fatigued, weak, and totally unable to handle any more stress. But when those electrolytes are perfectly balanced, you see optimal health, true vitality, and a robust immune system. The entire science of recovery is simply about moving an animal out of that dangerous red zone and bringing them right back to their vibrant, healthy baseline. To get them back to that baseline, we have to look at the exact biological blueprint for recovery. It requires highly specific, scientifically calibrated quantities of essential elements. For every single gram of supportive care, an exotic needs about 250 milligrams of sodium chloride just to restore their fluid balance. Then, they need 200 milligrams of potassium chloride to jumpstart that failing muscle function. But it's not just about the salts. They desperately need trace minerals and vitamins too, like 10 milligrams of vitamin C for immunity and stress resistance, and 10 milligrams of zinc for overall health and deep tissue recovery. These aren't just nice little extras. They are absolute biological necessities to stop a crisis in its tracks. When you combine those perfectly balanced electrolytes with the essential trace minerals, they work together all at once to create three main pillars of recovery. You get fast rehydration, an immediate energy boost, and the crucial immunity support needed to fight off any secondary infections. It is a brilliant, holistic, three-pronged solution to the massive problem of exotic animal stress. So, how do we practically deliver this perfectly balanced biological solution in the real world? Well, let me introduce you to ElectroMax by MBS NUTRICIENCE. This advanced formula is essentially the tangible, real-world realization of the exact science we've been talking about. It perfectly bridges the gap between a fragile, stressed animal and a state of rapid recovery. Now, this is absolutely crucial. ElectroMax is not just some generic livestock supplement that someone slapped a new label on and repurposed for a smaller cage. Not at all. It's part of a dedicated exotic care series, formulated specifically for their very unique metabolic rates. We're talking about everything from the high energy demands of a falcon right down to the incredibly sensitive digestive tracts of a rabbit. And when you're dealing with animals this fragile, safety and purity are everything. There's zero room for error. That's exactly why this product carries rigorous certifications. We're talking GMP, ISO 9001, kosher, and FSSAI compliance. It's a profound commitment that ensures every single gram you administer is safe, pure, and scientifically sound. It's really about pure peace of mind. Delivering that premium quality is incredibly straightforward, which is exactly what you need when you're in the middle of a stressful moment. If you're treating birds or reptiles, you just measure out exactly 1 gram of the powder, mix it thoroughly into a liter of drinking water or 500 grams of feed, and give it a good shake. Boom. It provides rapid rehydration precisely when they need it the most. And if you're caring for small mammals, like rabbits or guinea pigs, the dosage is precisely calibrated to match their much smaller systems. You just mix half a gram into 500 milliliters of water, and you get their hydration and energy stabilized immediately. Super simple, but incredibly effective. All of this incredible support loops right back to the overarching mission of MBS NUTRISCIENCE, feeding the future, healing with science. They are dedicated to ensuring that caretakers aren't just crossing their fingers and guessing in an emergency. Instead, you're providing optimal health that is backed by rigorous, proven research. We started this explainer by recognizing our vital, unique role as speechless stewards. We've seen the severe physiological threats these amazing animals face from stress and dehydration, and we've walked through the exact, balanced science required to pull them back to vitality using tools like ElectroMax. So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder today. Armed with this profound science of recovery, how will you ensure a stronger bond and better, more resilient health for the speechless nature in your care? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into exotic care.